It's time to spin into the spotlight because we are analyzing the Grade 1 Spinaway Stakes at Saratoga. These are 2-year-old fillies sprinting on the dirt, but don't let their baby faces fool you. Oh no! The Spinaway Stakes has launched serious careers. We're talking future Grade 1 winners, potential Breeders Cup threats, and yes, maybe even Kentucky Oaks royalty. In fact, champions like Echo Zulu, VQuest, and last year's Immersive all announced themselves right here in the Spinaway Stakes. So if you're looking to get a sneak peek at next year's stars, this is the place. I'm going to look at the entire field, go through those key angles, and figure out who's ready to go from promising prospect to future phenom. So buckle up, we got that precocious speed, hot pedigrees, and more buzz than a Saratoga picnic. How will you find your winner? Facts and figures are going to give you the winning edge. I give you the stats, you make the picks. Hi, it's Maura from Trifecta and a little bit extra. And I am so sad because Saratoga and the summer is winding down. And I've got coverage for you all weekend. And this is just one of the videos, the Spinaway Stakes. Now, before I start, let me just remind you this. Horse betting is not legal in every state. So if you're betting, make sure it's legal. Now, before we get into those 2-year-old fillies, let's just have a quick recap of last week's videos and races. I went into the Travers and give you bonus coverage of the Forego. I looked all the way back to 20 years to give you key handicapping angles, and guess what? You didn't even need them. The heavy favorites Sovereignty and Bookham Dano won, as I think we all expected. But hey, it was a ton of fun making those videos, and if you watched, I thank you. I also said, drop me a comment, any comment, and I may feature you in this week's intro. So I took everybody's name and put them in this beautiful hat that I did purchase from Saratoga. And now, and actually, just to let you know, Hatsational. So if you're in Saratoga, they're at the track and also on Broadway. And there was no money paid for that. I just paid money for the hat. And everybody's names are in this hat, and I'm going to feature a winner. So this week, I'm featuring Idiot Proof 523. Now, Idiot Proof has been featured in the past because they've done some good picking. So thank you, Idiot Proof, again for watching and participating in the discussion because you know I love those comments. So this week, we're going to do it again. Drop me a comment, and here's what I want to know. Who is the 2-year-old filly you think is going to be next year's Kentucky Oaks winner? So drop me that comment, and next week I may feature you on the video. Now, on to the angles. So we are moving on to those angles, and I am sure you are aware it is so tough trying to find angles for lightly raced 2-year-old fillies, but hey, I look back over the last 25 years, and in fact, there are 26 winners because in 2016, we had a dead heat, and I did find some observations that we can use for those 26 winners. First is going to be trainer Todd Pletcher. He has won 5 of the last 25 editions of this race, and he has 2 contenders in this year's Spinaway. The second angle is going to be this. Every winner had at least 1 start. Well, no duh, Maura. Of course they had 1 start. And every contender in this field has at least 1 start too. So is that even an angle? No. But what I found interesting was this. More starts, meaning more experience, didn't actually equal more winners. In fact, 11 of the 26, that is 42%, only had 1 start. 7 had 2 starts, 6 had 3 starts, and 2 had 4 starts, only 8%. The third angle is Saratoga experience. 20 of the 26 winners had their last start here at Saratoga. That is 77%. The fourth angle is going to be being a winner in that prep race. 21 of the 26 winners, that is a whopping 81%, won their prep race, and 4 came in second. That means only one horse, Ado, in 2005, didn't get in the exacta in their prep. Now, another observation I want to make, the favorite isn't always the winner. In fact, a non-favorite has won 19 of the last 26 times, 73%. Typically, leaders are going to be forwardly placed, and what you're going to look for is a little oomph at the end. Many had prep racers that said, drew away, driving, ridden out. So look for that oomph at the end. The number 1 horse is Ornellaia, and for those of you who do not know, Ornellaia is one of Italy's leading Bordeaux red style wines, and this girl is a vintage under her own. She is a $1.1 million purchase by Girvin, owned by the Ammo Racing and Memo Partnership. In fact, she was the sale topper at the Fasig-Tipton Mid-Atlantic sale. She's trained by Chad Brown and will be ridden by Dylan Davis, and together they have a 25% win rate. With only 1 race under her belt, she showed how special she is. She was in a $100,000 6 furlong maiden race here at Saratoga. She comes out of the gate and has an awful start. She gets left in the dust. Her owner said they thought, well, that is unfortunate. We have no chance of catching up. In fact, when they were going around the far turn, she was still in the back of the pack. But you want to see heart? Go watch that stretch run and you're going to see heart. Girl, she's got some strides and some really big moves. She wins by 2 lengths and earns a 72 buyer. The filly she beat that day is in today's race, the number 7, Steer Clear. She has a win in her prep, and it was here at Saratoga. She has that oomph at the end. Yeah, we saw that, and the heart in that stretch run. Everything I'd like to see for this race. Now, she was further in the back than I'd like to see, but hey, she had that really awkward start. The 72 buyer is a bit light compared to others, but she's a 2-year-old filly, and they can progress by leaps and bounds. Now, Chad Brown has said he thinks he's got a live one here, and I couldn't agree more. Like a fine wine, she should only get better with time. Now, would you like a little meringue with your wine? The number 2 horse is Meringue. Trained by Rudy Brisset, she'll be ridden by Luis Rivera Jr. Rudy has a 13% win rate for 3-year-old fillies, their 3rd start on the dirt. This young lady is by Frosted, and she has 2 starts. In June, she was in a 5 furlong race at Churchill Downs. Now, like Ornellaia, she had a super awkward start and appeared to be out of contention for that race. She's in the back of the field. The favorite, Delightful Darling, she gets in front and is putting out fast fractions of 22 and change. Now, turning for home, Meringue is still way in the back behind so many horses. Then in the stretch, Luan Machado gets to the outside, and this filly has an incredible surge at the end. Pay attention to that. That's that oomph that we're looking for. She wins by a neck. Then in August, she's entered into the G3 Adirondack here at Saratoga, 6.5 furlongs on the dirt. Now that is a key prep race for this race. It has produced 6 winners in the past 25 years. Here she's up against the highly regarded Mythical, who, by the way, is the number 4 horse in this race. She comes out of post position 5. Now that's the outermost post for that day. She gets to the back of the pack again. Mythical gets right to the lead and is setting the pace. These are blazing hot fractions. Mythical is setting the pace going the first quarter under 22 seconds. Now turning around the final turn, Meringue comes off the rail. She gets bumped a bit, but in that stretch, that's when her momentum begins to kick in. But unfortunately, she cannot get up to Mythical. Mythical wins by 3 1/4, but Meringue came in second with a 78 buyer. So she has that place finish in her prep race. She's got the Saratoga experience. She was in a graded stakes race here at Saratoga, so has some class. Her buyers, mid-pack, but she can improve. The one thing I didn't like about both races, she was further in the back than I would like to see for this race. And in both of those races, she got a lot of pace to run into. The number 3 horse is Rileytole. Trained by Safi Joseph Jr., she'll be ridden by Raylu Gutierrez. Now here's a stat. Safi Joseph Jr. has a 33% win rate for 2-year-old fillies, second start on the dirt. This young lady is by Rileytole, who is a sprinter, but has a 18% win rate for dirt routers. She has one and only one start, a $70,000 maiden race at Gulfstream, so doesn't have that Saratoga experience. It was a 5.5 furlong race. In that race, she's traveling 4th or 5th for most of the race. Now coming around that turn, she had to go wide, but in the stretch, she turned on the jets. She finishes ahead of her stablemate, who was the favorite that day. She wins by a length and a half. Now her buyer is very light, so be careful with that. Only a 59. And I'm not really sure who she beat that day, but she did spot a bullet workout on July 11th. Her trainer's got good stats, but how is she going to do against the likes of Mythical and Ornellaia? Also, will she like Saratoga? The number 4 horse is Mythical. This young lady is living up to her name, producing some incredible, fantastical races. Her trainer is Jorge Delgado, and she'll be ridden by Amicio Jaramillo, who has been on her for all 3 starts. 3 starts, 3 wins. In April, she won a $70,000 4.5 furlong maiden race at Gulfstream, her home state. She goes gate to wire, wins by an insane 8 lengths. Can she do it again? Absolutely. She comes here to Saratoga, goes into the Tremont against the boys, which is something I love to see. And in a 5.5 furlong race, she goes gate to wire again, wins by 3.5 lengths. Now she set a blazing hot pace, 22 2 seconds for the first quarter, under 45 seconds for the half. She earns a 93 buyer, second start as a 2-year-old, 93 buyer. Delgado said, hey, she made a statement that day. She showed that she was a good horse. Can she do it again? Absolutely. She goes into the G3 Adirondack, a 6.5 furlong race here at Saratoga. Key prep race for this race. Gate to wire, wins by 3 over the number 2 horse in this race, Meringue. She set another blazing hot pace, 22 seconds for the first quarter, 44 4 for the first half. What in the world? That's insane. And she just keeps on going, and nobody could catch her that day. She earned an 84 buyer. So is she the perfect fantasy? She's got that winning record, which includes that graded stakes prep race here at Saratoga. She won against the boys, and she's got that catch me if you can attitude. She may be mythical by name, but she is unstoppable by nature. Now, before we go on to the next contender, if you're finding this information useful, hit like and hit subscribe. After Saratoga's over, I'm going on to those Derby prep races and also Breeders Cup, so don't miss out on any of my horse racing coverage. The number 5 horse is Percy's Bar. This young lady is sired by Upstart, trained by Ben Colebrook, and will be ridden by Luan Machado. She has 2 starts and is undefeated with 2 impressive wins. In April, she begins her racing career at Keeneland in a $90,000 maiden race, 4.5 furlongs. There are 9 other contenders in that field. Coming out of post position 4, she's in the back of the pack on the rail. Now she gains momentum, stays on the inside, takes over, wins by an impressive 4 lengths. Then she goes to the Debutante Stakes, 6 furlongs at Churchill Downs. She comes out of the gate and is off the pace. The pace is hot. In the first quarter, they were going 21 and 29. Now coming around that far turn, Percy's Bar makes a very strong move. She goes wide around a stack of horses, grabs the lead, wins by 5 lengths, and gets a 70 buyer. Now, who did she really beat that day? The other horses in the field? They only received buyers in the 50s, so maybe not a strong field, but you can't deny this horse has heart and speed. She may be light on her buyer compared to Mythical, and she has no Saratoga experience, but she's coming into this race with a lot of confidence off of that win and some very fast workouts. 5 furlongs going 59 and change, and you have to watch out for Ben Colebrook when he's got horses with those very fast workouts. Luan Machado has said there aren't many horses that he's been on that move as quickly and as easily as she has. For me personally, I am going to be cozying up to Percy's Bar as she will be staying on my radar. The number 6 horse is Sina. Trained by Brett Brinkman, she'll be ridden by Jaime Rodriguez. This filly is by Gunrunner. 2 starts with 1 win and 1 place. She began her career in a 6 furlong race at Churchill Downs. She got bumped coming out of the gate by another horse. She dueled in the stretch in a wicked hot pace, under 21 seconds for the first quarter, under 44 seconds for the first half. It looked like she was going to win, but she was overtaken and comes in second with a 62 buyer. Next time out, another 6 furlong race at Delaware Park, $45,000 main race. This time she goes gate to wire. Now she opens up stride by stride, opens up by 3 lengths, 4 lengths, 5 lengths, and she wins and earns another 62 buyer. Now she is the daughter of Sittin' at the Bar. Sina is a half sister to Alva Star, who is also trained by Brett Brinkman. Now Alva Star was a graded stakes winner, never out of the exacta, but unfortunately suffered a life-taking injury last year. We see that Sina has the win in her prep race. She has the ability to dazzle going gate to wire. But for me, she's a little light on her buyers. The number 7 horse is Steer Clear. She's trained by Todd Pletcher. Remember, he is a leading trainer for this race, has won 5 of the last 25 editions of the Spinaway, and she'll be ridden by Jose Lexcano. She's a $575,000 purchase by Street Sense out of an Unbridled Song mare. Street Sense produces strong dirt routers, including Sweet Reason, who won the G1 test, this track and this distance in 2014, and Wedding Toast, who won the Breeders' Cup Distaff with Lexcano aboard in 2015. Now, Steer Clear has 1 race under her belt, a 6 furlong maiden special weight here at Saratoga. In that race, she met up with the number 1 horse from this race, Ornellaia. Now, she breaks from post position 1. She steers clear right to the front and is sitting off the leader, Cadenza. Now, they're setting some blazing hot pace, 22 for the first quarter going around the turn. She puts a nose in the front. Now she is battling horses left and right, and then she comes into the clear and it looks like she's gonna win until she doesn't. She comes in second, 2 lengths behind with a 68 buyer. She got battle tested in that race. Now she showed heart and she has a Saratoga experience, but from a buyer's perspective, she really needs to improve. Lexcano hopes that he could steer her to the winner's circle on Saturday. The number 8 horse is Pletcher's second runner, and that is Tommy Joe. Tommy Joe is a $250,000 purchase by Into Mischief. Now, when I say Into Mischief, your ears better be perking up. Into Mischief was everywhere during last year's Triple Crown season, including being the sire of the Kentucky Derby winner, Belmont winner, and now Travers winner, Sovereignty. In terms of fillies, Into Mischief has given us Pretty Mischievous, the 2023 Kentucky Oaks winner, but who also won the test, this track, this distance. Into Mischief was also the sire of Gamine, multiple Greatest Stakes winner, who also won the test in 2020. Now, the dam of Tommy Joe is Mother Mother, multiple stakes winner. Tommy Joe was stellar in her one and only race, where? Here at Saratoga, a 6 furlong $100,000 maiden race. She comes out of post position 7. She's about 5 lengths off the lead, but before she hit that far turn, she cranks on those engines. She is passing horses in a very flashy move. By the final turn, she's in the lead. Extremely professional. Now she finishes well in front of the other horses. Never a crop involved. She was hand ridden and she wins with an 85 buyer, 3 to 4 lengths. Just think what she could do in a field like this. Now, she did have competition that day. The horse that came in second, Tennessee Belle, she finished with a 76 buyer, and she backed it up in her next race with a 77 buyer. So I'm not saying she didn't have competition, but think what she could do here. She's got the trainer. She's got that big win in her prep, and she wasn't fully running. She's got the Saratoga experience. Personally, for me, she's got to be a top contender. The number 9 horse is Spirit Doll. Her sire is Tis the Law. She's trained by Safi Joseph Jr. and will be ridden by Edgar Saez, and together they have a 20% win rate. Now, she's got 1 start with 1 win, an $80,000 maiden race going 6 furlongs here at Saratoga. She was the 7 to 5 favorite. She comes out of the outermost post position 9. Now she stumbles at the start. She's really wide going down the backstretch. Coming around the turn, you see a big turn of foot and some momentum. She duels with the leader and wins with a 68 buyer. Out of the 3 Safi Joseph Jr. entries in this field, this one on paper is the strongest. She's got 2 bullet workouts here at Saratoga, 3 furlongs going 35 and 4 furlongs going 46. She's got the momentum at the end. She's got that win in her prep, and it was here at Saratoga, and she's got those strong workouts, but she's going to have to improve to compete with the others in this field. The horses that she beat are really not the same that we're seeing here today in the Spinaway. The final contender, number 10, is Day to Day. She is the stablemate to Spirit Doll. She's also trained by Safi Joseph Jr. and will be ridden by Ricardo Santana Jr. and she's by Mackenzie. Now, this is her first time for Safi Joseph Jr. Prior to this, she was trained by Michael Trombetta. Her one and only race was in July at Colonial Downs, a 5.5 furlong race on the turf. She was very well reserved. She had to go 5 wide and won by closing fast, so has an oomph at the end. We're also seeing some very fast workouts at Laurel. 36 and change for 3 furlongs, a bullet. So she's got the win in her prep. She's got that oomph at the end, but she doesn't have that Saratoga experience, and I'm not really sure how she will do against the rest of the field. Now it's your turn. Drop me a comment below. Who do you think is going to be that 2-year-old standout, that star that's going to win next year's Kentucky Oaks? Hit like and hit subscribe. Don't miss out on my coverage. I'm moving on after this to Derby Preps. I can't believe I'm saying that. And then also Breeders Cup. I hope you all find your winner this weekend. Cheers.